Alrighty, hello, and again, happy Halloween, because it's another ghost story that I am telling on Halloween, because I just remembered that I had another one that I could tell. Although this one wasn't me being stupid, like the last one, where I did a really dumb thing and got myself haunted. Like an idiot. This one was just accidental. So, when I was a kid, I lived for a time in my uncle's house with my mom and his son. And I would play in like, it wasn't like a bedroom. I mean, it had a bed in it, but it was more like a guest room area sort of thing. And so if you could smash a front room, a garage, and a bedroom together in one thing, that was this room. So I'd go in there and I'd play. And so, one day, I'm in there and I'm just spinning around and around and around and around and around and around as fast as I could go, because I had like, I don't know, that's why I think I'm maybe autistic, because I did this weird spinning thing a lot when I was a kid, where I would just get lost like a whirling dervish. And I had some good central balance, because I could just be like spinning like a top fast, right? To where I could feel the blood going to the ends of my fingertips and pooling there. That's how fast I was making myself spin around. So, I'm doing that, essentially, in front of what are these locked garage doors, and I'm just spinning, 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 and I've got my eyes open, because that was the fun part for me, is I would do it with my eyes open, and like the world would bleed into one swirl of colors, and the colors had pattern, and they would beat as you moved, because it was different objects making the swirling pattern. And so every time you passed one object and went on to another one, the shadow was this weird distortion, because this room was kind of dark. And so I'm just spinning in this room, like, full out, just boom, 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 just going. And you can't see anything other than color and swirling, color and swirling, color and swirling. And then boom, there's a kid right there. And I'm like, and I stopped dead in my swirl. Like, I should have broke the laws of physics stopping as fast as I did, right? And I swear, I see an apparition. A young little boy, roughly about my age at that time, and I was a little kid. Like, I was like, what was it? It was elementary school age, and it was 4th grade? I think I was in 4th grade. Anyway, so like 4th grade. This kid looked like they could be in the 4th grade with me, but just stone white, no color. It was like somebody took a picture of a human and then drained all the color out of it except for the outlines. So like a drawing of a human. It was weird, right? And it stopped me dead in my tracks. Like I said, physics broke, the sound cracked. It was horrible, right? I dropped to the ground, and I'm like, and when I drop, I'm facing away, because that's my spin. I was spun, saw it, and then stopped my spin, but I was already facing away. And so I dropped on the ground, and I turn, and I look over my shoulder, and there ain't a goddamn thing there. And so I'm like, can I be crazy? I literally thought I could be crazy. At like 4th grade, I thought I was insane, because I swear I saw a fully formed little boy in that room with me, and he was just standing there staring at me spinning. And the weirder part is that, like I said, I was spinning so fast, right, that I couldn't really make out anything in the room other than the beat of the different objects in the swirl, because that's how fast I made myself go. It was insane. That's why I think I may be mildly autistic, because I did weird shit like that, and counting things. That was weird. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. And so I don't know how, but I saw this kid in the swirl. It was as if the swirling stopped for a second, and there was the kid, but the swirling couldn't have stopped because I was legitly in motion. So my brain somehow freeze-framed the kid, and then I was still going, you know? So it's like my brain took a picture of it and then kept it there for me as I was moving. That's how startling it was, because like everything in the swirl stopped, but I didn't stop. And so it was very noticeable. And so I got haunted as a kid. I got haunted by a kid as a kid, swirling autistically in a garage suite. It was weird, man. they're out there. Anyways, so that's like a really short story of like being haunted as a child. Now I'm haunted today in real life. In this house that me and my husband live in, we have spirits that take things and leave us things. Which are really, you don't have to believe me, but I believe me because I exist with it. So that's all that really matters. You can believe me or not. I don't care. But it happens. It's happening to us. It's cool and scary at the same time because the last one left us some weird dessert spoon that was made of silver. Like an antique spoon, legitly. It looked like it was been hiding out in the dirt, right? And so the story of that's pretty funny. It's like we're just like chilling in the bedroom, going about our business, and I noticed the spoon, and I don't say anything because I think it's something that my husband found outside and that he brought inside because he works out in the yard, he digs things up, and so it looked like something that had been dug up. And so I'm like, oh, it's probably just some little treasure he found. And so up there on the dresser is where I found it. And so I noticed it up there on the dresser where the old wood box that I made you was. You know, yeah, I made my husband a Divot box. No, I didn't. It's actually a nice little box that I carved and burned a whole picture thing into. It's really pretty. But it used to sit there, and this little spoon just sort of showed up right next to it. Right? And I thought it was him. I thought he found it outside and that he brought it inside. Boy, was I wrong. That's not at all what happened. So I find it, and then like days and days pass, and it's just sitting there. And then my husband notices it, and he's like, "Where'd this come from?" And I'm just like, "Wait, what? What do you mean, where did that come? I thought you put that there." He's like, "No, I had never seen this before." And I'm like, "It's been there a few days." And he's like, "I know. I just thought you thought I put it there. I thought you put it there. Neither of us put this thing there." And so I'm like, "Huh." That was really weird. And so like we just accepted the fact that this thing popped into existence on the dresser, right? Well, like I think a week goes by and we realize that something's missing. It was a pack of lighters had gone missing. They were just gone. Just poof, no lighters. And they were gone from that box where we keep them, in that box, where the spoon was put right next to the box. So apparently the ghost took the lighters and left the spoon as a trade. Which I don't know how that frickin' works. But you explain to me how neither of us took the lighters and neither of us put the spoon. Ugh. You know, if you can explain that to me, where it makes logical sense, I might accept that because I am a logical bitch, if anything. Right? So if you can make that logic, I'm happy to listen to you. But to me, I'm being haunted, and it traded lighters for a spoon, which I don't think is a perfect trade. But it was an antique silver spoon, so maybe monetarily. I don't know. But again, it was metal. So there's something about metals and spirits. Because I've always noticed that. That's, again, why I chose dimes for the other story, where I, messed up really bad. Yeah, I chose dimes for a particular reason, because I've noticed that, like, spirits and metal seem to go hand in hand. They like it. Anyways, that's not the only time we've been haunted in this house. We've been locked out of this house by a damn ghost. Right? And if my mom had not been in the house, we would not have gotten back into the house because somebody thought it was real fun to lock us out twice. Both. The first time was my husband by himself, and then the second time was both of us. Explain that one. It was real fun. We're sitting there, and we decide to go out and, hang out on the porch because we have this nice little covered porch here that it's got a great view of the trees, and it's nice when you hear the spring peepers and the frogs and all those things going off. It's really nice. Even at winter, you can sit there and watch the snow. It's a nice place. So we go out there to hang out, drink some coffee, right? And this is where we both got locked out. Where he got locked out, I forget what he was doing. You were doing something on the porch. You went outside. And then when you tried to come back in, the door was locked, and you were banging on the door, and you had to come up to the window and get my attention to go unlock the doors. I think that's how it went. But I remember you got locked out first, and it was very annoying to you, and you thought somebody had locked you out. That's what is okay. Yeah, so you went outside to do that. Yeah. Yeah, and so so the ghost locked him out individually. He was out there doing stuff in the yard. So we were out there hanging out, and so we finish hanging out, and we go to turn back around and go back in, And here's the fun part, is I think my husband, he had gone back in through the door shortly before we decided we were done outside because it had gotten a little cold. It was nighttime. And so we knew that the door was unlocked because he had just gone out and come back. So it couldn't be locked, right? Because he had just gone through it. So we decide to gather our stuff because we had a little coffee picnic out there on the bench while we were, hanging out. And we go to open the door. It's locked. He had just gone through it. I think he went to go pee or something in the house. I forget what he was. He went inside to the house and came back out like 5-10 minutes later. So like, and then we went back in, or tried to, and we couldn't get in. Before you go, well, the lock just simply swelled. Listen, Spock, no, it did not just simply swell in your logicals. Okay? It can't do that when it just worked. So, yeah. So, we've got spirits here, and that makes sense because this house was built in the 1900s. Like, legitly, its birthday is 1900. Right? And it was built during the time of Prohibition in this area, and so this roadway in front of the house here that I live in, it was like the main road technically to get to the next county where Prohibition wasn't enacted, and so they could go right to the county line and buy liquor. So they would just pass this house all the time. But the train company used to use this house as a sort of a stayover for like passengers. So it was like the train company's hotel in a way. Like not officially, but they kind of linked hand in hand. So the hotel sprang up because there was an access. There was a small train station over there. Train station's been torn down and there's trailers in its place. But there used to be a little train station there. And it would let the people off. They'd come here, get lunch, sleep, wash up, things like that. So a lot of people have died here, needless to say. I mean, you can't have that many people going through a house, sleeping under its roof, and a sizable portion of them don't die from sickness, old age, murder, whatever. So, this house has some history, and somebody likes trading lighters for silver spoons and locking us out. Also, I swear to God, I've heard ghosts talk in the distance. Like, I don't know, I could be schizophrenic. I don't think I am. I've not had any signs before. Okay? But I swear I've heard whispers in the distance behind me, just like, hi. And I'm like, what? What? Hi, you! Lots of things falling off of shelves, things just moving themselves off of counters for the fun of it. Yeah. And you're like, why? Why don't you film it? Because it's hard to film something that is spontaneous. It would take 24/7 filming. And seeing as how the ghosts are kind of impish and do whatever the fuck they want, they might know what a camera is at this point. They fucking knew what lighters were and took those. I don't know why. Nothing caught on fire, but I do worry. There are lighters somewhere that went missing, and we still haven't found them. They're still gone. I'm waiting for them to trade back. I don't think it's going to happen. They have those lighters. It's still weird. Like, why that? Why that? I mean, we didn't even touch them, really. They just kind of were in the box. So it's just like a weird thing to have taken. Before you go, well, maybe there's just somebody living in your house. Dude, I own this house, all right? We are renovating this house. There's nowhere another human other than us could hide amongst the house. So that's not a thing. So no, there's not some other solid-bodied human doing these things. We would have noticed. But yes, that is us being haunted and me being haunted repeatedly throughout my life. Although that middle one, that was my doing. You can watch that video. I did get myself haunted on that one. At this point, it's kind of funny to me. You're like, she couldn't have been haunted. She's laughing about it. At this point in life, it is kind of funny because I have not died. Alright? I have not been physically maimed. I have not been trapped in a house fire as the spirits danced on my corpse. None of that has taken place, so I am good. I think there are somehow rules to all of this. And somehow I have fallen ass backward into them. And I found a loophole. And I'm good with it. I will not question, because questioning could cause trouble. We want another pumpkin seed? Carved jack-o'-lanterns last night, and I have a little gray kitten who's begging for pumpkin seeds. He's like, can I have one? Let me de-shell. Hold on. I wouldn't suggest giving cats the shell of a pumpkin seed. It's a bit too woody. Might fracture in their throat and be kind of like you fed them bark. Yeah, so de-shell it if you give your cat pumpkin seed. There you go. Right there. I just taught him to eat these, like you would a monkey. You know, where you nibble it and you go, and then you hand it to him. He took it. My husband was just sitting here like I'm freaking Jane Goodall of the fucking jungle and shit. Like, how did you talk to the cat? I don't know. I talk to ghosts too, and I don't know how that works. Oh, strange thing. Again, you don't have to believe me. But when I was a kid, my mom was literally a necromancer. Like the one that talks to the dead for other people. And I used to sit in on her, I guess you would call it mediumship. I'm gonna, like, she would have somebody there and she'd be doing the thing. And I remember distinctly one occurrence where the person that she was contacting for the other person, the living person, didn't know what they wanted to ask, right? And so it left my mom on, like, pause mode, right? And she explained, I cannot be on pause mode because it's, like, intense inner pressure. So, like, you just feel like, right? Like, everything in you just is, like, getting more pressurized. Like a submarine as it gets squeezed by the water. It just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And so she grabbed my teddy bear that was sitting too close because she needed something because she was starting to wring her hands, and you could hear her bones creaking in her hands because it's how hard she was squeezing them because of the internal pressure that she said she was feeling. And so she grabbed my teddy bear and she was just squeezing this poor little bear. And in my memory, I just see my poor teddy bear making the horriblest of faces as she squeezes its head. It starts to rotate the top part of its head from the bottom part of its head, and its mouth is just all contorted, all right? And then the top of the head comes out. You know, she felt really bad. She got me a new bear. She didn't do it on purpose, right? And I was an intelligent enough child. That's why I was sitting in on it, because I wasn't a stupid kid, and so there was no reason to hide scary things from me. It was really hard to scare me. It still is. Like, even when I was getting haunted, you saw me. I was going to go up to the attic and confront the goddamn ghoul in person, like, let's do this, let's dance. You know? It could have been a vagrant for all I cared. I didn't know. I get weird in those situations. Like, my heart rate stops. Like, it's almost as if I don't feel my pulse. And I'm terrified. But I don't, there's no, like, my heart is still. And I'm just like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. It's part of my brain going, you stupid bitch. And the rest of me is just like, shut up, let's do this. I don't know why I'm built that way. But I am. So, yeah. So I'm weird. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So she's twisted my teddy bear's head off because this woman could not think of what she wanted to ask. And my mom is, it's like, why do you not come pre-prepared with your questions, woman? Especially when the woman told you you needed to come pre-prepared with your questions because you can't keep her on pause. And so my mom's there just like having a fucking aneurysm. You can see her head. Like, it's turning red. You know? And she is breathing. You can hear her going, like, she's breathing through the pressure. Like, there's intense, increasing pressure. Right? And so finally this dumbass asks her question, and you can hear my mom just kind of exhale. And, and then she goes quiet, and her fucking eyes glaze out, and then she has the answer that the woman wanted, like, or was asking for. I'm not going to tell you because it's all personal, and that's like therapy. You don't tell what they're talking about. There are rules, and I know the rules even though I don't talk to them like that. Okay? I know better. But that's probably why I get haunted. I probably could talk to them, but I'm not about to do that. That was horrifying. Like, the pressure that I saw throughout my mom's body was just the most intense memory possible. And you'd be like, well, maybe she faked it. If you knew my mom, you'd punch yourself in the face for thinking that. You would. You just, right to your own face, like, I'm an asshole. Yes, you are. Because if you knew the woman, you'd know better. So, just saying. So, yeah. Haunted periodically throughout life. It's a fun Halloween to recount memories. Sitting by the firelight with pumpkins. The firelight being this one here. Yeah. It's a crackling fire for a lovely evening of ghost talk. Welcome to Ghost Talk with Tabby. Ooh, wait, that needs to be a thing. Oh. Oh. I may have just found something new I can do. But I'm running out of ghost stories that are mine. Well, I'm going to have to tell other people's ghost stories then. Well, that could be fun too. Well, maybe there'll be a new series called Ghost Talk with Tabby. Kidding. No, but I will think about that, because there's a lot of ghost stories, and I'm sure I could drum up some that are real. You know, you just gotta evaluate them. Oh yeah, there's the Ouija board story, but I'm trying to remember exactly. Because, like, yeah, like, Ouija boards are funny. Okay? You can use them to communicate with the dead, but often you're not using them for that. Most of the people who think they're communicating with the dead are, in fact, not. You're actually talking to your inner dialogue. So the part of your Jiminy Cricket or your big liar. Like, there's two parts of your inner brain. One is a Jiminy Cricket who wants to do the right thing and tell the truth, and the other side is a worm who wants to lie and manipulate and doesn't like to be confronted. Those are the two parts of the inner brain. Okay? Most of us go with our Jiminy Cricket. Other people have that mousy brain side, and they just go with the little worm side. And they do bad things, or they let bad things happen. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, anyways, so... I spaced out. Anyways, like, I don't know why I got on that little tangent. But anyways, so I had a point, and I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so Ouija boards, it can be a little difficult. Most of the time, people are just talking to themselves. You're talking to the inner voice. That's what I was describing. So usually, you're just talking to one of the two inner voices. And one's going to want to tell you the truth of what you want to know, and the other one is going to tell you what you think you want. So if, like, say you try to ask a ghost, so you use a Ouija board. So you got a Ouija board set up in front of you, right? Right? And you want to know, who will I marry? Who will I marry in the future? And you sit down with your Ouija board and you get your little dauber out and you're just like, okay, all right, spirits, talk to me. Who am I going to marry? And they start spelling out a name there. Here's the fun part. No ghost is telling you who you're loving, who you're going to marry. It's you telling you who you want the most. And boom, a name appears. So a lot of times you're just talking to yourself. But occasionally, you can use a Ouija board to actually talk to a ghost. Now, the only way this works is you got to get some personal concerns of a ghost. How do you do that? Well, you have to go to a cemetery. Or you have to see my other video where I explain how to be dumb. Okay, go have fun. I encourage you. I enjoyed telling it. It was a great story. I lived through it, and I have survived, so you can survive a haunting. It's not like the horror movies. It could be. Be careful. Anyways, so you can use a Ouija board to talk to a spirit. It's just the way you do it. So you have to, like, research the spirit, number one, right? Figure out how to identify the spirit you're trying to talk to from the people you're going to use as energy pumps. Because you got to use energy pumps, otherwise no ghost will talk to you. You have to supply food. Or they ignore you. Yeah, this is getting kind of weird for Halloween, but I don't care. I'm having fun. It's in the spirit of the holiday. So let me teach you some fun and stuff. So if you want to contact a ghost, you got to know your ghost to a degree. Like, you don't have to know everything about them, but you got to know something that only the ghost would know. And you don't tell your energy pumps, the two people who are going to help you with this. You don't tell them the answers. Okay? They're not allowed to know the history of the ghost at all. They can't know the name. They can't know anything. Right? If they read it off the grave, fine. Now they know the name, but they came about it on their own. You don't tell them shit. Right? That's the point. You don't tell the energy pumps anything. They're just there to supply energy. Okay? So, all three of you touch the dauber. You ask the question. The ghost has to affirm yes or no to prove that it is them who is answering the question. Now, here's the trick. You can't touch the dauber after you ask the question. You have to hover your finger above it, but not touching it. Okay? And now, you're waiting for the answer. If the answer comes up correctly, you did not manipulate the dauber. You couldn't have, because you were not physically touching it. But you have to stay close enough that your energy can bridge, like you can spark to it. So it's like you're touching it, but you're not touching it. You're hovering without touching. Okay? That's the trick, because if you touch, you're cheating. No touching. Okay? So the energy pumps will be adding the energy to the dauber to make it appetizing for the ghost to even come near. That's the whole point. They're not going to want to touch it unless it's appetizing. So, you use the two pumps to make the dauber appetizing. The ghost puts their hand on there, moves it, and fucking answers your question. Boom, you know you're talking to a ghost. Now you have proven you are talking to a ghost. There's no way you're not talking to a ghost. And you know which one you're talking to. Now, if you just go in blindly, you could be talking to the psychology of one of the energy pumps around you, your own inner psychology, goddamn demon, who knows? Because you didn't do it right. Gotta do it right. You know? And I've done that. I went to an old cemetery once, and I took my Ouija board, and you're like, oh, Ouija boards are demonic. No, they're not. They're Fisher-Price toys. You can get them they're from Fisher-Price, all right? It's not that mystical. It's cardboard. So it's not the board. It's what you do with it, and how you do it, and how recklessly you do it. Okay? So I found an old cemetery out in the middle of the desert. It was one of those, like, Texas cemeteries by the border town. Again, yes, the border town. I lived there for 14 years, so deal with it. Anyways, so another little cemetery out in the border town. But the only difference is that this cemetery is one of those forgotten ones that the sand dunes slowly engulf. And you see, like, old crosses and stuff sticking out at odd angles. And if you dig down, you find the rest of the grave, like, head underneath it. So it's like nobody really visits these things. They're old cowboy graves a lot of times. So the people are like 100+ years gone, right? So I set up on top of one of these graves, and I got my two energy pumps. I got two people on either side of me, on either side of the graves. I'm facing the grave because I looked around to find the one that was the most undestroyed, because that's going to be your graveyard master, you know, the spirit that contains the most energy, because somehow they're managing to keep their shit together when everybody else's shit is falling apart. Go that one. Okay? This is sort of a how-to. Okay. So you go to that grave. You set your board directly on top of the grave, because that's the personal concerns. You are now contacted with their self, in a way. Like their stuff. Okay? So you put the board there. And you set up. Okay? So I have one person to the right and one person to the left on their sides of the grave, and me at the foot of the grave looking forward toward the headstone. Right? Problem is, I don't know anything about this person. So I don't really know who we were talking to. But I do know it wasn't me talking, because I had my finger hovering. Like I'm supposed to, you know, supposed to touch it. And this dauber is just saying stuff. And I'm like, well, this is some fucked up shit you're saying, huh? Because I haven't asked it anything yet. No, it's saying shit, and I haven't asked it anything. So I'm already like, oh, what have I done? It's another instance of what have I done? So, in this what have I done moment, I decide, and this is like this is before I got myself haunted stealing from a grave. Yeah, go listen to the video. It's not as bad as it sounds, okay? It's bad, but it's not as bad as that sounded. Anyways. So, ooh. You need tissues? You okay down there? This is, oh, horrible noise those things are making. Anyway, so, let's get away from the pig fight. I'm so lost in the nether. I don't know where the hell I am. Anyway, so, it's saying things like, get out, who are you, I'm gonna kill you, you know, and it was like jarbled. Like, I can't, like, how is best to describe this? It's like, as if you were turning the dial on a radio, and every time you would stop on a voice, it would say something, and then you turn the dial again, and it would be something different that it would say. You know, like, very sporadic and moving. And so, like, reading all of what it was saying, because you have to read the things it's spelling out. It's not like it auto-reads it for you. You're, like, literally like, what the fuck did it just spell? And it's just a stream of letters. And so you're trying to pick out the words in the letters. And so, at this point, I'm not touching it. Just my 2 energy pumps are touching it. I'm over here writing down letters. You're trying to figure out what this thing is saying. And I'm dyslexic, so this is not easy. Okay, one, it's talking too fast. 2, there are some curse words that I'm not sure were curse words, but they could have been in Spanish. I'm not really sure, because it was like a little Mexican cemetery. So, like, I pissed off somebody with guns who was like a cowboy poo-poo who spoke Spanish or some shit, because you were cursing and some shit. Anyways, so I'm trying to write it down while these 2 are holding onto the dauber doing this shit, right? Like, yeah, it sounds Hollywood, because it legitly was. All right, it was almost like it was in a movie. It was kind of cool, you know, and it was creepy at the same time, because it's like in the middle of the desert. There's no lights around. We didn't bring any light other than the flashlight to find the spot, and then we turned off all the light, and so we're just sitting there in the dark, you know. So it's even creepier when those desert winds come, whoo, you know, and they just like whistle past you and shit, and you're like, hello. Oh, no one's there. Okay. Then a coyote from the distance. And you're like, I hate life. Who are you? So that's what it's like out there while this is happening. And yeah, I'm making it sound like it's just zipping around the board. No, to me, because I'm dyslexic, it seems like it's zipping around really fast, because I'm trying to remember the letters in the correct order. And so it seems much faster to me than it really was. Okay. Normal speed is how it's going. It's just like sliding across and sliding across. It's not like going hyperspeed and shit, like, oh, and the winds howl. No, it's not like that. But it was creepy, and it was just basically saying like horrible curse words and saying, get out, I'll kill you. Get out, you know. And my friend, who was the energy pump on the left, started to panic, and they're like, what's going on? What is this? And I'm like, it's just the cemetery master. They're just like being a bitch. But then they didn't want to touch it anymore, and we had to leave because they gave up, which I don't blame them. I mean, they were scared. They're the one actually touching the thing, so I get it. I'm not touching the thing. I'm just sitting here writing at this point. And so we get home and we fully decipher what it was saying, and yeah, it was essentially weird slurs that we're not sure if they were in Spanish or not, because I was trying my best to write them down, and so maybe I got it wrong. But to my friend who speaks Spanish, they are saying, it seems like these are slurs, like, you know, like they're saying really bad things to you. And I'm like, that's what I figured. Because like puta was in there, and I'm not going to translate that to the English, but I think all of you know what that means. And it said it with the A, so it was for me, not for my friends, who were both guys. So I'm not going to a cemetery in the middle of the desert by myself anymore. No, actually, I did that one time. But before that, I had brought my friends, because you need the energy pumps. And I figured dudes out in the desert would be safer than, you know, like a chick Because then, like, 3 of us running through the desert, falling and screaming, what does that do? Nothing. But if I run through the desert falling and screaming, there's 2 guys behind me who are playing wall, and so I'm good. I'm okay. One could even pick me up and run like I'm a human backpack, which I saw a cop do. In a video recently, I saw a cop get some Antifa protesters out of someone's house, and it was really funny. So, like, these idiot Antifa protesters, yeah, I don't like Antifas. Anyway, so these idiot Antifa protesters, they're protesting ICE, blah, 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 and they get in trouble. And their idea is to run, right? So they're running down the block. They're running. And they go, oh, we need somewhere to hide. Oh, look, a door. And so they barge into someone's house, just a stranger's house. They barge in. They're just in. How do you do that and not think somebody's going to hit you in the head with a bat? Like, there's a lot of people just keep a bat near the door for headshots. So you keep that in mind when you barge through a door. There might be a bat right there next to the damn door. There could be something worse, too. But there might just be a bat right there waiting on your ass. So be careful. Anyway, so they barge in the house. They get lucky. These people aren't crazy and don't have the house bat. Anyways. So the cops come, they get in, they get these assholes. The first lady that the first Antifa chick they drag out is like this giant, like, wildebeest chick, and all dressed in black, like, you can't do this to me, copper, slurring and spitting and kicking at nothing, you know. So they drag her, they roll her down the front steps and into a police officer's vehicle. It takes 2 of them to do that, right? To get that one. The next one, the officer comes out. He's got her cuffed and slung over his shoulder like the strap of a backpack. Her arm is the strap of a backpack, and she's over his shoulder, and she just has given up with life. Like, her face says, I give up. I give up. I can't be dumber than this moment right now, because I have gone from human to protester to anarchist to human backpack all in one day. So he walks out of the house with this girl strapped on his shoulder like she's a freaking backpack, right? And he happily skips down them stairs like it's nothing. And again, you see her flopping as he's putting some bounce to it. He's so happy with what he's done, and I'm just like, sir, this is a monumental moment. You have turned a human into a backpack, sir. No one on the planet that I can think of, including serial killers, have ever turned a human into a backpack. And on public recording, like, we can all see the human backpack on display. Like, you know, it's even more special. We all get to witness the human backpacking. Dear Lord, this is an event. She's a backpack. Anyway, so he skips down the stairs, and she's flopping along with her little legs sticking out, and they bouncing with him. And I'm just like, dying in laughter inside. It's like, this woman is a backpack. And then, insult to injury of her being a human backpack. He walks over to the patrol car and he doesn't put her down. She is in full backpack mode. He has forgotten he's wearing a human. He thinks he's wearing a backpack. He leaves her there and then begins to do paperwork with her strapped on his shoulder like a damn backpack. And she is just there with her little legs out, not saying anything. Defeated, angry expression on her face, like she sucked on an earlobe full of wax. She's just like, I hate life. You should, sweetie, you should. But thank you for this moment, woman. Thank you for being so small you could become a human backpack. Thank you for not eating the burger. She must have been vegan. The only thing I could think of, she must have been a vegan. She's that light-framed. He backpacked her, and it was nothing. He's over there literally with a clipboard, talking to another officer with a pen in his hand. He's just got her hung on his shoulder. Like it's a goddamn purse, nothing. No problem. Like, officer. The backpack-wearing officer. Congratulations for being like that strong that you have this fucking human strapped to you, and you forgot you had a human strapped to you. It is not affecting you at all. You're signing shit with a pen. You gonna go eat lunch next? He probably could. He could have probably devoured an entire sandwich with her strapped to his back and forgotten that she was there, because she wasn't saying anything either. She was upset. I mean, I could see why she was upset. Meanwhile, They're still trying to struggle and get her fucking wildebeest friend into a vehicle all the way. They've rolled her to the vehicle. Like, you know how the Oompa Loompas rolled that big bitch turned into a blueberry? They rolled her to the vehicle, and she's at the vehicle, right? And she's refusing to go in. She's like a cow in the chute, and you're pushing and kicking, and you get the taser out, and you zap it in the ass, and it don't move. That's her. They can't get her in the hole. She won't go in the hole. So the whole time you're watching the backpack episode, there's a cow in the chute over here that refuses to go down into the chute. They're just pushing. They finally get her in. Lots of yelling and cursing coming from her. But I just thought that was fucking hilarious. Human backpack. Legit human. We got really off subject there, but it's a human backpack. I mean, you know you're here for it. I'd put it up on screen, but I'm not that talented. Not yet. That still kills me. It's just you signing paperwork. I bet you she was a bit of a feminazi as well, and it's just like really hurt her freaking ego. I remember not to laugh too hard, it might hurt me. It's too funny. I'm lost in the nether. Shit. Oh, I got lost. Alright, well, you'll have a happy Halloween. If you're wondering about the other story that I was talking about where I got myself haunted, just look for the other Halloween video that I posted first, because this one came after. But they will both say Happy Halloween on them. So, Happy Halloween. Enjoy your night and whatever you're going to do. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.